Alrighty. We are back. It is episode 54.
54.
Me and Blake just did a little off mic venting.
Yes.
And we have
Got the conversation rolling. Got the juices flowing.
And we got to a point that we felt would be apt to start the discussion with.
We want to include you in this part of the conversation.
First and foremost, as always, if you want to write into the show, it's upacreek@thepaddlepod.com. Shoot us an email. And that's enough intro. Oh, we're
Upacreek.
Upacreek
with two paddles.
With two paddles.
I'm Blake.
Sorry, I'm a little off from our previous conversation. We're back at the creek that we were at last time. We are not in the water.
Because we've gotten about 50 feet of rain in the past 2 weeks.
Yes, and the water is not crazy up, but it's up. And Blake forgot the chairs.
I did.
That's what we're going to blame it on. That's the reason we're not lounging in the water right now, because Blake forgot the chairs.
Dude, I wish I could have seen this creek at like full tilt.
Oh, God.
Because I saw a little path. Like, we're probably, just for reference, like 20 feet above the water right now. And I saw some evidence of water pushing some sticks against an embankment, like literally a few feet below, probably like 4 or 5 feet below where we are. So I bet when the water was like ripping through here at the height, it was probably like 10 feet higher than it is right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which is just crazy. But anyway.
Yeah, we're beside this beautiful trellis bridge. I think it used to be an old rail bridge, if I had to guess.
Yeah. Probably so, which is crazy that they fucking trusted this motherfucking bridge with a train going over it. I mean, for God's sake.
Bro, those trellises are strong.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, like...
It's made of wood, but yeah.
I wouldn't want to run a freight train over this nowadays.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, I'll say that's enough intro. What were we about to get into?
Yeah, we were kind of talking about this whole
moral relativism,
as one of our dear friends in the comments put it.
Yes.
But no, so I've been playing like soccer, like a little what do they call it? Co-ed when the genders play together. Co-ed soccer. And there's this guy that I met. He's a teacher. His name's Islam. And he's a little bit older than me. I'm not sure how old he is, but I know he's a little bit older than me. And he's obviously Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a very curious fellow, especially about religion. So I was, just asking him about it. And somehow we started talking about polygamy and how in the Muslim faith, and it is spiritual law, like in the Torah, that you can have 4 wives. One man can have 4 wives. And I was like, like in the United States, though, like, polygamy is illegal. And he was like, except for the Mormons. They get away with it in Salt Lake City or in Utah because the laws are different in Utah. And I was like, so how does that work for Muslims? Like, do you get exempt in the United States for like, for it being a religious thing? And he was like, no. You can have 1 wife legally through the government,
right?
But then you can have up to 4 spiritual wives, through the church.
How do you choose the legal one?
That's a good question. I'll have to get back to you on that. I'll ask it. Maybe like, one lady has a little bit less debt.
This is my bottom hoe.
Yeah, this is my bottom bitch right here. You feel me? She ain't going nowhere.
She's legally.
These other 3. They can kick the curb whenever.
They're just with me in spirit.
Yeah. No, but anyway, God, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So yeah, they can have 1 in the United States, like legally, and then 3 others through the church. That's how he explained it to me. I'm sure it's a little bit more complicated than that, but to the idiot non-Muslim, that's how he explained it. Like I was just thinking, like, okay, so let's think about it. There's roughly 50% women, 50% men.
Yeah.
We're going to just make our lives easy. It's probably 51% women, 49% men, whatever.
Right.
Or, in China, it's probably like 60% men, 40% women because they killed a lot of their they're female babies a long time ago, apparently.
Yeah.
But anyway,
allegedly.
We don't know for sure. It's probably just some propaganda.
I don't know the controversy within all that. I don't want to. I'm not dipping my toes in that water.
It's off topic. But I was like, okay, so let's just say hypothetically that that would be one man has 4 wives. He's basically like if let's say 25% could theoretically have 100% of the women.
Right.
Is that correct? Because 1 for every 4. Right?
Yeah.
25% to 100%.
Yeah.
I wonder if that creates more competition, intersexual competition, meaning that like the men, because they have to basically fight over less women, right?
Right.
They have less women to fight over. They have to compete at a higher level than, let's say, monogamous, because there's going to be more of a pool because there's more women available percentage-wise. So I wonder if that is contributing, or if that contributes to some of their...
And who are we talking about? What?
Muslims.
Okay,
Muslims.
okay.
Or any person who practices polygamy, for that matter.
Right.
Because this would apply to them as well. Or any groups of people that practice polygamy. Because that's what it is.
Right. I'm following. I was thrown off by the whole China thing.
Right. I'm sorry. That was stupid to bring up. But no, but I'm saying, like, I bet that contributes to some of the level of competition that are amongst the males in those regions.
Right.
Because if you can have up to 4 wives,
yeah.
I mean, what's stopping you? I mean, in the United States, right? I'm sure I'm sure we can say that in the United States, like 20% of the guys get play from 80% of the women. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would. I think that would check out. That's probably accurate.
Maybe that's not right. Who fucking knows?
It's probably close.
But do you see the point I'm trying to argue? That if you do practice the situation where you can have 4 wives, that it would increase the level of competition between men in that culture.
Right.
That's just an interesting thing I was thinking about. And then that leads into the moral relativism. Like, me and you, and I've heard Jordan Peterson talk about it. We were talking about him. He was like, we should probably be striving for heterosexual, monogamous, lifelong relationships.
Sure.
That's what he thinks. But the Arabs are like, or not Arabs, the Muslims are like, fuck that.
Yeah.
We want some hoes. You know what I mean? We got money to play with, cuz. You don't know nothing about this oil money, son.
Yeah. So what we're asking is like...
And that's kind of funny, right?
Because as far as morally, we're talking like right and wrong.
Oh, I mean, we don't have to. I thought it was interesting. Like, well, I wonder if that increases the quality of man they get.
Well, potentially.
Because they have to be so much more competitive.
Potentially. But then again, if the ladies are splitting their attention to one dude across like 5 women... Maybe I don't know.
Or you're saying the man splitting his attention amongst the...
Right, so the ladies are only getting, like, say, a quarter of the attention of a monogamous relationship.
Yeah.
And that's, of course, theoretical. I'm sure, if you have 4 kids, your kids still get 100% of your attention. I don't know if that's the best analogy, but...
No. You inevitably have to split and divide your time.
Right.
Inevitably. But I think this is barking up a different tree, which is... how women and men's relationship is viewed in these 2 cultures. Like, in America, the happiness of the woman...
Happy wife, happy life.
It is paramount.
Right.
In our minds, it's paramount. Over there...
It's the opposite.
I don't think that's the case.
No, I would imagine the women are trying to make the men happy.
Yeah, or at the very least, the men isn't as obligated to provide, quote-unquote, happiness to the woman.
Right.
He's there to provide his seed and his money.
Right.
Not necessarily his time and his joy.
Right.
Right. I'm sure he is. He's these people's husband.
Right.
So of course he is. But like the degree to which that is the case, I think that's one of those cultural relativism. The moral relativism things.
Because a lot of people in a more Christian society would see polygamy as wrong or sacrilegious. And then in that society, it's almost expected.
But let's say, I mean, you probably have about 50% of the men aren't worth a fuck.
Right.
So
I wonder.
What's the problem? Let the women choose if they want to choose the best men. Like, if they can support 4 fucking wives, then who's to say that they shouldn't? You know what I mean? If everybody in that arrangement's happy, I don't see I mean, I have no room to place judgment. Right. That's my point.
Right. That's interesting.
If everybody accepts that arrangement, then I don't. What?
I wonder. And I hope we're not getting too controversial here.
Dude, fuck it.
On touchy subjects about religion.
Who gives a fuck? I mean, we're totally, I think, on course here.
But what I was going to say is I wonder if having multiple wives would cause the man to see the women as
their lifespan's probably cut in half.
More replaceable. If that's my fourth wife. Right. And she does something that makes me not, no longer want it.
They don't do divorce either. They don't do that.
Anyway, to the moral relativism.
He'd probably just kill her.
The dude who said it's absolutely objective and that moral relativism is ridiculous. I mean, that entire discussion proves, no, it is subjective.
It is subjective. However, it is paramount for us to identify and grade behavior.
Yes.
We have to.
Again, like I said last week, I don't argue the value in it.
Yeah, we have
I don't argue the value about it. I do think it's a valuable concept. It's a valuable idea. But to say it's a true thing, I don't know.
And even God, even if you believe in God, I can see you having a harder time believing that there's not a universal right and wrong. But look at the way he plays with, not plays, look at the way that human life and life on earth is played out. Death, destruction, disease, famine. And you could argue all those things are faults of our own, and I can concede that.
Or the devil.
Or whatever. One and the same. We're whatever. But, I think that's just too much for us to grasp as humans.
I think a lot of things that are too much for humans to grasp is the reason religion is so prominent.
Right, because it gets to the heart of a very hard to understand thing.
Right.
It really does. But
what's funny is if you think of, I'm going back to our previous topic, if the other way around, there's gonna, I would imagine.
If there was a queen bitch who had 50
yes,
ass.
I would imagine. First of all, if a woman has multiple husbands, that's the beginning of a cult.
I wonder how many cults are led by women.
Because dudes are not putting up with that shit. I ain't sharing my lady with you, bro. No. Dudes ain't putting up with that.
No.
The type of men, I would imagine, who, if they're 10 dudes with one lady leader, that's fast track to a cult. Yeah. It's got to be. I don't know. I might be talking crazy, but yeah.
And it happens with men a lot. Yeah. Men will, they'll just, if they start a cult, they're fucking everybody.
All cults are based on sex
and power.
100%.
Yeah. But anyway, that's funny. Oh my god. If you were going to be in a cult, what do you think would be your requirements? What would you be looking for in a cult?
This is interesting.
I think I would lean more towards the lady leader. You know what I mean? Fuck the dude. I don't want to follow no man. But if there's I'm gonna get in trouble. So
just being
Hannah, I love you. No.
What would be, so I guess in that hypothetical,
but what if
am
Wonder
I joining
Woman,
a cult or starting a cult?
I'd follow Wonder Woman. If Wonder Woman started a cult, I'd be like, okay.
If Wonder Woman was real, she'd be God. Of course
right.
Speaking of cults, that's what all religions are.
Right.
Truthfully, you can say that's dismissing of religion, but at the end of the day, if you look at the definition of a cult and you fucking overlay that onto any religion, they're all cults. It's literally the definition of a cult is what all religions do.
Unless you define cult as something where the people involved don't have free will. Is that a part of a cult? I don't think so.
I mean, we would all have free will. It's just there's punishment for not.
Right.
Which is religion.
I guess so.
If you don't follow the tenets of God, you're going to hell.
Yeah. Dude, I wish that there was like a pipeline straight from Jesus. Because I'm sure back in the day, dude, like that was the guy. But how much has that been corrupted? Like for instance, right, by the Catholic Church, like the Inquisition. You got to pay us to get in. Hell is real. If you don't listen, you're going to burn for eternity. Like I wonder how much like has been just shifted for power's sake rather than what was spurted out of the mouth of the man that was
That's a good
Christ.
Point.
Because I'm sure back in the, I bet he was such like a force,
and I bet he would hate most of the examples of Christianity nowadays.
Right, well, for sure.
Like these mega churches,
these huge, beautiful churches.
No, if
the facilities,
I think what God
he
would
be
want,
like, "What are you guys wasting all your money for?"
Yeah, go feed the homeless.
You realize you can just go out in a field, right?
Right. If anything, that's closer to God.
So you realize you guys could just go have a concert out on the lawn.
Right.
And
I mean, I don't want to get into my entire viewpoints on why religion is retarded.
He was hanging out with the poor fishermen, the prostitutes, the people that were rejected by society.
Right, right.
Like that's who he was like, "Hey, these are my people."
Right.
Like we got to, and that's what this is what frustrates me so much about us. We were talking about the dynamics between men and women. I feel like a lot of young, beautiful women, as they have the right to, are looking for someone who can give them a lot. They want to be given a lot. And that's sort of the nature between man, the provider, and the woman, the carer. I get that.
Right.
And, nowadays that's sort of being,
and obviously not just
and it's fluid.
Financial empowerment.
I'm not saying that's how it has to be or anything. I'm just saying like.
But when you say give them something, it's also there's care, love, and family with that too. It's not all just material.
Well, they're like, what is this guy's family like? How tall is he? Like, how good looking is he? Like, what do our children look like? How much money does he? Like all that. They're looking for someone who can give them something. And I feel like if more people, especially the empowered women, if they took the time to like look at someone and not be like, because I tried to do this when I was sort of looking for a partner.
And people in general too.
And people in general, I had to learn this. If you can look for someone who needs to be lifted up and not be so focused on what can this person give me in the relationship and be like, how can I help this person? How can I take this person and raise them up to where I know they can be? Right? And everybody who was able to took one hand and reached down and pulled somebody up. Right? If everybody did that, that's how the world gets better. It's not the government coming and fixing the homeless. It's not like a program. It's a human to human thing. I'm going to grab you and we're going to get through this together. Right? Like Hannah, she doesn't have the best family life. She doesn't have a lot of money. And I love her because of who she is, and I love her regardless of how things happen. Right. And I wasn't there, the person who could just, come in and like, look, here's this boat. Like what, like, but the point is, we're trying to lift each other the fuck up. Right. That's the point. If everybody took one or two people and be like, that was kind of foreseen as below them, and lifted them up or tried to. Right. That's how things change. And instead everybody's looking up and being like, how the fuck can I get up there? Or how can I break in? Right. How can someone up there help me get where they're at? Instead of looking down and be like, let's pull
who can I pull up to my level?
Right. That exactly.
Because it's all, I mean, and
that's exactly what Jesus did. That's exactly what he stood for.
Looking for the people who may need a helping hand. I don't know. I'm trying to find points to make, but
No, I just wish people looked at things more through that lens as opposed to like, I'm not hanging out with these people.
And I think a lot of that's selfishness. We look up for someone to bring us to their level instead of, like you're saying, doing the opposite and looking. And that almost sounds negative, looking down to bring somebody up to your level. But that's not how we mean it. It's just, yeah, I don't really know.
Someone who isn't realizing their full potential, and you can just obviously see it. You know?
Yeah.
Or I don't know, someone that just had a shit roll of the hand. I just feel like a lot of people nowadays just want everything to be solved, especially in America.
Yeah.
Like we just want things to be solved. We want everything just right. We want everything perfect. We want everything optimized. You know? That's not how things work.
Right.
That's not how fucking things work.
Somebody else to come in and fix all our problems.
That's the huge one. Like we're so like the government needs to fix it. And it's like no.
Yeah.
We have to fix it.
But and now we're going to get into government, but
no, we don't have to.
The issue is that as much as people may be trying to do that for themselves and their community, the government's still stifling the progress of that. I mean, I don't know. We're getting very negative right now.
I don't think so.
Well, where I was about to go, I guess. But like, I don't know. I don't want to get in all those weeds.
I don't think they're stopping a lot of people from trying to do basic good.
No.
But
I just mean like
they're just trying to make money.
I mean, just like we're saying with the fucking mega churches who spend hundreds of millions of dollars on a fucking private jet and nice house and nice cars and a nice church, but then we'll fucking walk past a homeless guy on the street and not even look him in the eye.
Like I heard the story about Joel Osteen. He has a huge fucking church in Houston.
Fuck that dude.
And there was like,
if anybody's going to hell,
there was severe flooding. Like severe flooding.
And he wouldn't open up his church.
Yeah, there was a bunch of homeless people outside.
Right.
And they were like, dude, hey, can we like seek shelter in this place?
And didn't they use like the Astrodome or something?
I don't know. They couldn't go in his church. He was like, fuck no.
Yeah, like if anybody's going to hell, it's fucking him.
I mean, they were probably really dirty, dude. They just redid the floors in that motherfucker, dude. You know how much that shit cost?
Put some tarps down. But yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. But I guess what I was getting at is like those types of people are the same types of people running in the fucking government. I don't know what I'm getting at. I'm out of it. I'm kind of lost in my own.
It's the people who are doing the opposite of looking, like the people that are doing the opposite of like looking out in the world and saying, how can I make this better? Those people that we're mad at are like, hey, they're looking out in the world and I'm guilty of it too. I mean, like, what can the world give me?
Right. Like,
and it's totally the opposite perspective.
Right.
And it's the kind of the similar thing as to the people who believe like that there's no hope for us as a culture and a society, and those who believe that there is.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's a lot of that.
What exactly do you mean hope for us? Like,
I don't know. Like, I guess I sense a lot of like.
I think we got too deep in our pre-pod discussion, and now we're just trying to maintain that level of deepness without getting too personal about it. Let's shit. All right, Quinn. We're going to read your email.
Well, we're not the fixers, okay? Don't come and asking us about the problems and the solutions. We're not the fixers. We're just the talk about iters.
We're the pontificators.
Yeah. Food for thought.
Upacreek with two pontificators. But yes, Quinn, your time has finally come. I have your emails on a photo because I don't have internet, but I remembered.
I'm probably going to get canceled for everything I just said.
I don't think.
I don't think anybody gives a shit enough to cancel me.
That's what I was. We're nowhere near big enough to be canceled.
What does that even mean?
What is that? Yeah, like, cancel's such a weird. It is so funny to see like low-level schmucks like ourselves be like, oh, is that Like to even think the arrogance,
to
think that we're even worthy of somebody telling us we can't continue doing what we're doing.
That's funny. God bless America.
Sorry,
God bless America.
My mom's texting me. I apologize. I'm all over the place right now.
I'm for more polygamy.
All right.
We need to get more polygamy in this bitch.
So, Quinn.
Sorry.
Quinn says, which sport do you think makes you the best suited to live in the wild? So I think this was inspired by our conversation of sports and sexual performance.
Yes. Interesting.
Archery.
Well, isn't there a sport? There's like a long distance skiing where you have to literally, I think it's called cross country skiing or something involved with that.
Cross country
where
skiing.
you have to carry a gun and then do like accuracy shots. It's like a speed plus accuracy competition. And like I think it like docks your time, depending on how good you are at the long shooting.
Yeah.
So that's something.
I would imagine just like running.
Some people consider fishing and hunting sports.
That's what I was saying. Archery.
Right. Like that's an obvious one.
Long distance running is going to be very valuable.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I would imagine
stamina in general.
Stamina and your ability to fight. Do you think that would help you in that? You're not fighting animals.
You're going to need to be very physically strong. That's going to be an advantage. But
hold on. The Quinn offered some insight. My bad. I just read the question. He said, if I took a pro football player and a pro soccer player and a pro fighter and etc., all with similar level of knowledge of nature, who would fare the best? Quinn says he has his top 3 and he wants to see how ours compare. So I guess
let's just name like the top 12 American sports and then we'll do a head-on-head of 1v1. Okay, so let's do boxing. Or let's just fighting.
Just MMA.
MMA, fighting, football, soccer, golf, basketball, hockey, baseball, billiards. No, I'm just kidding. What other? That's 8. That's probably tennis.
Tennis. Why are we blanking on 10 sports?
Okay, track and field.
Track and field.
And we'll just keep it like
I think soccer.
Let's do
the
soccer
only benefit
v football first.
All right. The only benefit to soccer is stamina. I think football,
and your legs are going to be very strong.
But football, I think
your legs are going to be very strong.
Also, I think throwing could offer you an advantage above kicking
probably.
When it comes to survival. Again, these are like I don't know, baseball. I don't see much.
Usually
again, throwing.
Smaller people live longer.
Ooh, horse jockeys.
Okay. If you can ride a horse, that's a huge advantage.
Well, if they have the horse. Like, do they...
Let's throw that one in there.
So, hold on, Quinn. We're
going to throw equestrian in there.
Are they cast into nature with their sports equipment? And therefore a jockey would have his horse?
No. All they have... But what the fuck would being an archer matter if you couldn't even have your bow?
Right.
So yeah, like if the equipment is directly applicable and necessary to the sport,
because that changes things. Because then football's not shit. Football and soccer, there's no benefit to those.
Because what if you have a golf club
or a baseball bat?
I'd
have a bat over a golf club. Yeah, golf clubs are way easier to break
if it's metal. Yeah, either way. Even if it's wood.
Wooden bat, bro. Yeah. Wooden bat is so much worse than the fucking aluminum bat.
Hickory bat.
That's
Jesus Christ.
There's a reason all MLB players hit with wooden bats.
Bat, yeah. Actually, I think they're outlawed from using certain bats. That's really why they do it. But
there are better bats. Use aluminum bats. It's just
I don't think you can in the pros.
I believe you can. I don't know. Maybe a quick Google.
So yeah, Quinn, we needed to know whether you can have the sports equipment or not, because that makes or breaks you. Like if you just have the raw talent and bodily skill that you've learned, let's just do that. That'll be easier. You know what I mean? Because it's a survival situation in the wild. You're not going to have your man-made golf club and bat.
Yeah.
You could just grab a fucking stick. I mean,
if we're just talking about...
Like, there's plenty of driftwood. God, speaking of driftwood, the water has gotten that high before. Holy
I don't know.
Christ.
Or do you think that's just where they've cleared it out from right there?
Maybe, potentially.
But if we're just talking physical ability, MMA's got to be the top one.
I don't know, man. Would you rather have an athlete that is very intense for shorter periods of time, or has more...
I wouldn't necessarily say that in a survival situation
I don't know,
that's
man.
the same with, like, yes, MMA fighters are typically doing more intense bouts for shorter times versus like soccer or basketball.
Right.
But that's only because that's the limitations of the sport. When you get that person out in the wild...
Football is the least on the endurance scale. Like football, like the plays are so intermittent. There's so many breaks. Baseball is worse.
Baseball's way worse.
Baseball's way. You can be fat as fuck in
there's
baseball.
fat motherfuckers who are Hall of Famers.
Actually, it seems to help some of the guys.
By the way, speaking of baseball, Babe Ruth wasn't shit.
What do you mean?
It makes no sense that we still herald Babe Ruth as this god of baseball.
Dude, he's one of the giants. He's one of the people who the people nowadays stand on the back of him. Like, that's how that works.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it is.
No.
Yeah.
Babe Ruth wasn't
That's how it
shit.
works, bro.
Bro.
Of course, if you got him to try to play nowadays,
I mean,
he would suck a fat one.
It's just the sport of baseball.
They didn't even have steroids back then, for God's sakes.
The sport of baseball when Babe Ruth was playing was
a bunch of drunks.
A ridiculous sport.
Oh, God. I mean, I can't, dude, can you imagine the sporting events back in the day, dude?
Also,
like, no security checks.
How fast were the pitches Babe Ruth was hitting?
What drugs were they doing?
There's no telling. Cocaine.
They probably had some wild drugs back in the day, dude.
Oh, man.
They're
But,
just...
like, what speed of pitch was fucking Babe Ruth hitting? 55 miles an hour?
No, it was faster than that.
You really think so?
Yeah. It was probably 80s.
I don't know.
Dude, me and you could throw a baseball 70 miles an hour.
I don't know. 70?
Yes.
We need to. I would like to test that.
We can.
I'm very curious to know how fast I could throw a baseball.
I'm 99% sure we could throw over 60, and I'd probably be like 80% sure one of us could throw over 70. If I had to guess, we'd probably throw our shoulders out after like 3 of them, but like.
Because, I mean, bro, they're pitching 105 consistently nowadays.
Nowadays, yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying back in the day, they were probably throwing mid-80s.
Bro, there's little league
80s.
teams that could have beat Babe Ruth and his team. I'm serious.
Grown men, dude.
Yes, there are little league teams that would destroy them.
That is silly.
It's not silly.
That's so silly.
I wish I had more facts to back it up.
Because that's totally hypothetical.
It is completely hypothetical. I watched a video that convinced me of this, and now I forget all of the points they used to convince me of this. So therefore, I cannot convince you of it because I don't remember the stats. But Babe Ruth wasn't shit. Come at me.
I just don't think a modern Little League team, like let's say the World Series Little League winners,
yes,
playing against the 25,
they would destroy them.
No fucking chance.
100%.
On what size field? Let's just say that they're playing on the kid size field. They can hit the ball over the fence with their dick if it was that big.
Yeah, but little leaguers are pitching 100 miles an hour.
No, they're not.
Yes, look it up. Yes, they are.
Look it up. I need proof.
100%.
I need proof. Who is the best Little League pitcher on the planet right now, and what's he throwing?
I know it's over 100.
Let's see.
I've had a little bout of me watching a bunch of...
Little leaguer, what, is 13?
Yes. Little League... I'm just going to say Little League average pitching speed.
There's no way it's in the 90s.
Guarantee it is.
There's no way it's in the 90s.
And if it's not the average, then the best players are throwing over 100. I know that for a fact.
Dude, then back in the 20s, the grown men were for sure throwing in the 90s then. For sure. I mean, it's not much different, dude. It's just throwing a ball.
Oh, this is bullshit.
What's it saying? What does it say?
The fucking AI answer says 50 to 65 miles an hour.
That seems accurate.
But that shit's always wrong.
Dude, that seems accurate.
All right, how fast do Little League pitchers pitch? A 12-year-old can throw 60 to 70 miles an hour, the good ones. So hold on.
Yeah, I remember when I was like friends with baseball players when we were growing up. I never played, but like, you know, the good guys were like, I could throw 75. When they were like in Sims, you know? When we were in like 70, when we were in like 7th grade, the really good ones were throwing like 75.
Some
80.
of the fastest pitchers in Little League are 80.
Okay.
So I was a little off.
A little off.
But I still think the best Little League teams would destroy.
That is the silliest thing you've ever said.
I don't think so. We will never know. I will always say that I'm right.
Look, we should do a poll. Have you ever?
We are so off of Quinn's question right now.
We are. We'll come back. We're figuring it out.
All right, I will make this a social media clip and comment.
Make a poll. No, you can do polls now.
How wrong am I?
Do you think the 1920s New York Yankees featuring Babe Ruth could beat last year's winner of the Little League World Series?
Okay, fair.
Do you think that this is possible? Do you think that is the stupidest thing you've ever heard in your life?
I'm about to get destroyed. I'm going to get destroyed.
Please, because I'll say, me and you don't know shit about baseball.
No.
I'm the most baseball stupid person you could ever talk to.
I know a little bit.
Like, I'm not a baseball. I've never been a baseball player, but I still have the sense to know.
I think
that
I'm on
9 grown drunk men could beat the shit out of some little.
No.
Could beat the shit out of some little leaguers.
So we agree, baseball is the least to set you up for survival.
You're fucked.
Baseball, unless you happen to be one of the motherfucking baseball players.
Unless a deer happens to walk by you 2 feet away and you can hit it with a bat. Unless the deer walks right by you in your strike zone.
Speaking of strike zones, did you know that little people are banned from Major League Baseball?
Because the strike zone's too
Midgets
small?
cannot play baseball in the major leagues.
Damn.
Because one day
they're too hard. It's level impossible.
One season, I believe in like the 40s or maybe even earlier, it might have been like the 20s, they signed a little person and they made him stand like squatted so that his strike zone was literally like an inch tall. And nobody could ever throw a strike on him. And immediately...
Why hadn't DWI got in on that, bro? Like, they need to get on the major leagues.
Yes,
no, what
discrimination.
Is it? No, what is it? Diversity, equity, DEI.
DEI. What'd you say, stupid. DWI?
Yeah. Yeah.
Diversity and white people.
Diversity, whites included. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I'm surprised that DEI hadn't got a hold of the MLBs for not letting little people in. That's insanity.
Bro, I would be so scared of the ball. Even as a 27-year-old man.
Dude.
I would be terrified of a 100-mile-an-hour fucking hardball coming at me.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. If I was Babe Ruth or the pitcher I don't think he was a pitcher. He was just a hitter. But I would just hit a couple of the kids. Just walk a couple of them. None of them will want to hit. They'll be scared as shit, bro.
Oh, my God.
They'll be done. They'll have no desire to play you after that.
So to suffice Quinn's question, top 3, I'm saying soccer, MMA.
Football, like a safety, they'll hunt you down.
Oh, yeah.
They'll hunt you the fuck down and murder you.
Ooh, I wonder.
Like, that'd be a good...
But that's what you're talking about, that like, they can do that play for play, but if they're not chasing out an animal unless they get them quick.
An ambush.
Right.
There'd be different. There's different game plans. You don't have to kill an animal one way, you know?
So, yeah, MMA, I'd say soccer just for stamina. And then
the mental acuity too for soccer, like if you're a really, really good soccer player,
yeah,
your mind is working on a different level. Like it processes things, and I'm sure this is true at each sport. I'm sure like the super elite athletes, they all have very high level brains.
I got a curveball for you: rock climbing.
Okay. Yeah, I mean
you're getting to a nice spot.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you can, if you're really good at climbing, you
can ambush prey. You can ambush prey very easily.
I'm not even talking about hunting. I'm talking about you avoiding being prey.
Right. Yeah, if you can climb.
If you can climb up a fucking sheer rock face and set up and find a cave,
you're good.
You got it. You got fucking stamina beat.
You make friends with a bird. You just tell it to bring you berries and shit.
No, you need to make friends with like an eagle that can bring you fish.
That would be sick.
Bruh.
He'd probably be more likely to just kill you in your sleep, but yeah.
Falconeering. That's a sport.
That's super legit.
But then
you just climb a cliff face and falconeer from the full cliff face.
You'd get fat. You wouldn't have to do shit.
Holy shit. Falconeering might be the one.
We found it, Quinn. But then again, are you able to bring your falcon?
But if you are a true falconeer,
do you think you can just befriend a falcon?
Yeah, you could tame one.
You think so?
Oh yeah. You kill like a little rabbit, you know?
Just offer.
Yeah.
Offer.
You slowly win over the falcon.
Right. So MMA, horse jockeys, no, MMA rock climbers, falconeers.
Dude, this is legit. Because
I think rock climbing is a good one.
If you can tame a horse,
yes,
you're gonna have an advantage.
So, an equestrian rock climbing falconer has the best chance of surviving.
I think you just described a Mongolian.
Yes.
I mean, you just described Attila the Hun.
I did. And they survived.
MMA, falconeering, climbing, horses. All right, Quinn, your question has been solved.
All right, now.
You're welcome.
This is so much better than talking about morality.
Yeah.
All right, if you got to choose where you got shot, but you can't get shot in the same place twice, how many bullets you think you could take without medical treatment before you died?
I mean,
if you're very unlucky, one.
Yeah, I mean, because you could say like in my arm, and it just happens to hit an artery, and you're dead.
Right. So, well, I mean, I guess if he's saying you can choose the spot, I'm sure you can choose very precisely. You can be like, no, that's not hitting an artery. Because you're choosing the spot, and this is hypothetical. So, like...
I think people have taken upwards of 5 or 6 bullets and survived.
Bro, 50 Cent got hit with 9.
Holy shit.
In the face. Not 9 in the face, but he was shot in the face.
With what? A water gun?
I don't know, but...
like, what the fuck are you
That's
talking
how
about?
he knows that God put him here for a reason.
Dude, we
the other guy
talked about Trump getting us...
Yes, we did. We did last...
Okay,
we touched on it. But I was going into a 50 Cent lyric. He said that's how he knows God put him here for a reason, because he got hit, like 50 got hit, but he ain't no longer breathing. Something like that. Bro, 50, I would be terrified of fucking 50 Cent.
He seems enlightened.
I've been watching a lot of...
He might be enlightened.
A lot of rap confrontations. Apparently, MC Hammer was not to be played with. Because everybody kind of like was joked on him because he was like, yeah, like he's fruity and all this, and like people kind of made fun of him being
stupid pants,
flashy. But apparently, when people talk shit on him, they were met with goons. Bro, the music industry is scary when you get into like beefs and like who's controlling
there
certain
ain't room
shit.
For a lot of the top in the music industry.
It's fucking wild.
There really ain't.
Also, Kendrick won.
How did he win?
First of all, Drake hadn't dropped a song in like, I don't even know.
He just quit. He's like,
he completely quit. Apparently, I don't want to get into it. I'm going to be so off on my topics. Well, Not Like Us
high level overview.
Is so fucking fire. I've been jamming Not Like Us. It's such a good song.
How does that go? Have I been hearing it on reels lately?
He's like, yeah, definitely. I'm not gonna sing it.
No, I know the song.
Yeah.
I can almost hear it.
It starts with like, I see dead people. That's how it starts.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to it.
But he recently put out a video, and the video is full of like subliminal messages anti-Drake. It's
dude. People
Kendrick
hate
won.
on Drake's lyricism.
He has stolen so much.
That might be true, but I mean, like,
Dude, you would not
that used to be one of his. Like back in the day when Drake was like really popular, I'm thinking like "Take Care," like that was the peak Drake. You know, like "Take Care" is like up there, like at his, maybe like a little bit after that.
Sure.
But anyway, like, that's one of the things he was known for. Like, was his quality of lyrics.
I don't think anybody really into music would agree with you on that. Especially when comparing to like true rappers.
Not any.
Like, bro, Kendrick.
Yeah, you're right.
Kendrick is
he fell
potentially
off.
one of the best lyricists that has ever lived. I don't think he would say that just like, because he has so much respect for the people before him.
It's not just like the ability to write a song; it's the ability to chronicle a story.
I know that's what makes Kendrick is the GOAT.
But like, that's not. I mean, I'm not arguing, but like, I wonder who's had the more songs played in like parties.
Oh, Kendrick doesn't write party music. That's not a good.
Who has more plays?
Drake definitely has more streams in total, 100%. But just because you're more mainstream doesn't mean you're better.
No.
Most mainstream music is shittier than most underground music.
Okay.
I would say 90% of underground, never heard of artists make way better music than 90% of the mainstream artists.
Because I was just the Drake song just happened to I can't even remember which one. It was on the way here. I was listening to it and I was like, damn, this is actually pretty good writing. And he probably didn't even write it, but
no, he doesn't. That's something else. Drake almost doesn't write any of his own lyrics. He definitely has ghostwriters. He also steals word for word from other people. I was watching a video yesterday or 2 days ago breaking down maybe not all, but a lot of the lyrics Drake has stolen over his entire career. And it's like a 30-minute video of like 10-second clips of songs.
Damn.
It's that much. And word for word, he's stealing a lot of this shit. But Childish Gambino, I believe, put out an album recently, but there's a song on it called Lithonia that is fucking fire.
Like the country?
Lithuania?
I think there's a different. There's like
Lithonia?
Yeah, I think there is a Lithonia.
I don't know, but it's like heavy rock.
Who is it?
Childish Gambino.
Ah,
it is fire.
I've been wondering when he was gonna. I knew he's doing something creative.
Did you ever listen to Brittany Howard's album?
I started it. Yeah, it was interesting.
It's very good.
It's very interesting.
Anyway, yeah. How many bullets can you take? Well,
me.
But then again, without medical attention is the big part, because like 50 survived 9, but he definitely had medical help
for sure.
So with no medical help, I think you got to get hit in a spot where the bullet fully passes through you, because I think your chance of surviving.
Latvia, that's what I was thinking of.
Latvia.
So not yeah.
I think your chance of surviving, if the bullet stays in you, is probably less than if it's just clean through.
No, they usually try to get that motherfucker out.
That's what I'm saying. So you want to get hit in a spot where the bullet's going to go clean through you. Mm-hmm. And also, I imagine we're not talking like hollow points.
I don't know.
We're talking like clean.
A lot of people live with bullets in them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. My great-grandpa
like, hey, press this.
Had grenade shrapnel in him from World War II.
You're like, motherfucker, it's getting cold out. Shit.
So I'm thinking like calf.
God, no.
They all suck. But survivability.
I'm thinking like shoulder.
There's so many bones.
Fuck.
You hit that fucking scapula?
Holy shit. So what about just like taking your fingers off? Does that count?
I mean, it'd probably be relatively easy. You'd have to cauterize.
Like hand on the table. Bam.
You would have to burn your wounds closed if you cut off fingers. With no medical attention, you're cauterizing.
Holy shit.
That's rough. But I'm thinking just clean through the calf.
I like my legs.
Clean through the calf. You'll heal.
Kinda.
I don't know, though, but you got 2 bones in the bottom there.
Can you just be grazed? Can I be grazed? How many times can I be grazed?
How closely are you? Ear?
Yeah, like what if I can just barely slip like a roll of coins in there? You know what I mean?
So each ear, that's 2. I'm saying each calf, that's 4.
Yeah, by what we've seen lately, the ear seems like a good spot.
Ear'd be a good spot. I'd say maybe I'll throw a pinky in there. I'm saying 5.
Could somebody like pierce my nose? Just give me a septum piercing with a bullet.
Oof. This is grotesque. Jesus, Quinn. I'm saying 5.
Right on the tip of the dick. If people stick needles through that motherfucker, what's the difference between just taking a bullet through it?
Oof. I don't want to think about that.
What size round are we talking?
I'd rather it just kill me.
Are we talking 50 cal or are we talking 22?
I'm thinking like a 5.56. Just kind of like an average like rifle round.
Yeah, so not quite like a
in a clean round, not like a hollow point where it's going to go in and destroy you. Like one that's just going to go clean through. I'm saying 5. I'm saying each ear, each calf, and I'll give you a pinky. But yeah, if you're saying just each finger, that's going to suck because you're going to go through the pain of shooting it and then have to burn it closed. And then repeat that for every finger if you want to get to 10.
Oh my God.
I'll keep my thumbs. Oh, God, I don't want to think about that.
That's an awful question.
That's a terrible question. Would you rather have... Oh, Quinn, I love you. Would you rather have every fart sound like a gunshot at full volume or be unable to stop moaning every time you pee? Quinn said, I'm asking for a friend.
Dude, for sure pee. Because I can control when I pee.
I don't know how... You can hold your farts.
I mean, I'd much rather hold my pee.
How useful would it be to just whip out a gunshot fart? You could use that.
But inevitably, you would not be able to control it.
No, imagine like...
Inevitably, you just be in a room where you let out one of those ones that's like... Dun, 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 you know what I mean? And then you just be like, oh my God, you literally killed 3 children. Like,
or what if you live in an apartment and you have terrible night farts?
Right. You wake everybody up.
Oh my God.
Dude, are you kidding me?
Oh, hold on. If your asshole makes
the ramifications
of
letting off a fart in a stadium.
Then you just hold it.
You can't, dude. Have you ever, like, how much can you hold a fart?
I can hold a fart. Eventually, the gas will just go back up and turn into a burp.
No.
Yeah, that's how that works. It's all just one tube. You know, humans are just donuts.
But, like how loud, like a gunshot is so loud. Like, I'm moaning, I'm just like, But, like, it's not like, that's not like a gunshot. It's like, I can't even make the sound of a gunshot. It's like not even, that's the easy one. So that one's easy.
I'm thinking within this hypothetical.
I'm definitely moaning every time I'm peeing.
Well, then I'm always going to, like, the mother's room.
The what?
You know, like the single bathroom.
I'm moaning when I pee sometimes anyway.
I've complained about this on the podcast. Can grown men stop moaning in the bathroom? I've literally complained about this on the podcast. This is a pet peeve of mine.
It's not. I'm not saying.
You're not going to hold a fart.
I know. I'm not like going crazy, like fucking moaning when I'm peeing. But like sometimes when I have to rush to the toilet to pee,
it's more of a sigh.
I'm like, oh.
Yes.
Oh. My God.
But hold on. I have a caveat to the gunshot. Are my ears immune? So yes, I will hear it at full volume, but obviously if a gunshot went off right behind your ass, your ears are going to be ringing. So are my ears immune to hearing damage? Yes, I hear it at full volume, but are my ears immune to hearing damage specifically from my farts? That wasn't a part of the question. I feel like that has to be the case.
No, you got to carry
or else you're going deaf.
You got to carry around the ear protection.
Can you get...
You got to keep ear protection on you.
Can you... Hold on, I got to fart.
You got to stay strapped. Boys, fire in the hole, literally.
Oh, wait. Sometimes you fart while shitting. Does that mean every time gas escapes as you're shitting, it sounds like a fucking machine gun?
When you shit, it sounds like an atomic bomb.
Quinn, you didn't give us enough information on this one.
No, he did.
The
answer is obvious.
I think that having gunshot farts might be fun in some cases.
I mean, sure, it'd be fun.
And I can hold a fart.
I'm thinking just purely about embarrassment.
No, that's hilarious.
You're thinking of the comedy potential here.
Yes. Because in any other cases, I can just hold it.
If I'm going comedy potential, I'm going farts.
Exactly.
But dude,
there's no comedy potential to moaning while you pee.
You're going to get taken to prison so fast.
No, I'm not. All I got to do is fart in front of the cop, and he'll be like, oh, you got that condition.
Or you get shot.
You just stay out of dangerous areas.
Hands up. Where's the...
Bah!
He's got a gun in his ass. He's going to... That's what people are going to think. They're just going to think you have a gun in your ass.
I can hold
you have a gun keistered right now?
Where's that bullet getting ejected?
Oh my God.
All right,
have mercy on my soul.
Again, Quinn, I'm asking for a friend is just such a funny way to end that question.
Have you had to get up to change the camera? I haven't even noticed.
Yes. All right, last question from Quinn. You can control exactly one type of object with your mind. Cups,
vibrator,
writing utensils, clothes, etc.
Immediately vibrator.
What type of object would you like to be able to control with your mind? If you get one thing. So again, Quinn, we need more info because some objects are potential compound objects.
Yeah, what if I was just like metal?
Right.
Wood.
So I imagine...
Yeah, I would just pick my own penis. I barely have control over that.
But you already got 2 kids.
I'm just kidding. Exactly.
Yeah, I guess you just get a vasectomy and fucking have fun.
Or that's the problem. I don't want to get cut on. I don't want to get my vas deferens snipped.
So
I'm worried that it would just pull there. Like what? You know what I mean? Like if you let's think about this literally.
Anatomically,
if
yes.
you literally cannot expel semen,
you sweat it out.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
Where does it go?
Your balls are just gonna stop making it.
Yeah,
that's how that fucking works.
Right?
They have no need to. They're just gonna stop making it. That's not good. That can't be good.
It can't be good for your hormone balance either. I would imagine it's got to be similar to like a woman on birth control.
But I don't.
It's got to be doing something.
It's got to affect something.
If there's all this talk about semen retention,
right?
There's got to be something to.
Well, that's the ultimate semen retention right there. Maybe I should, but that's the issue, man. I feel like.
But hold on, we're back to. We're talking about like 7 different questions right now. So I'm thinking he's saying some specific man-made object. You can't just say like trees or like all tables.
I'd say metal.
It's got to be, but no, I don't think that's fair. That's too much of a workaround to his question.
Yeah, I want to be God.
What object would I like to be able to control with my mind? See, what do I use the most?
I would say, yeah, if I could cook with just with
thinking
my
about
mind, that'd be so sweet.
I'm trying to think like I'm thinking like car, and also when you're controlling it with your mind, how much of your energy and focus is it taking? Because I'm thinking if I could control my car with my mind, I can be doing shit passively while I'm riding in the car.
Right.
But what if driving the car with my mind takes just as much focus as driving with my hands and feet?
Cooking and driving are like, they're pretty mental.
Yeah.
You know, they're more mental than physical. So what if you were just like, the obvious thing would be like heavy shit. You know, like what's something heavy that would be a good job?
I got it. I have mine. Traffic lights.
That's a good one.
Got it.
That's a
good one.
That's
a good one.
Holy shit. Oh, that's a good one.
You'd never stop. You're never stopping at traffic lights.
Wow.
That's a good one.
Holy shit. That is a really good one.
I almost want to see if Quinn is available for me to call him. No, I'm going to shoot him a text and see if I can call him and get his answers. Because he said he has his top 3 sports for the first question. I want to know what his justifications are. Because I think we did pretty damn good.
Well, we have 4. Let's cut one out.
No, we did. We said rock climbing, falconry, and MMA. Those are our top 3 sports for survival.
I don't know. I feel like horse riding needs to be in there. Equestrian?
What
would you rather? Would you rather be able to tame a horse or a falcon?
Falcon.
That's a hard choice.
Because the horse is only for transportation and potential carrying shit for you. The falcon's getting you food. A horse ain't getting you food unless you kill it.
Just takes you to better hunting grounds. Yeah, then you could always kill it. Yeah.
I'd rather have the falcon. I think I'd rather be able to fight, climb, and tame falcons.
I'm throwing climbing out. I'm going, fuck climbing. I'm going, yeah, I like falconry, fighting, and equestrian. That's my 3.
All right. Quinn has been notified. We'll see if he responds within a reasonable amount of time. I'm still caught up on gunshot farts. I think...
The comedic value would be scary.
But let's find a scenario. Because we both are like, there is comedy value there, but how?
I mean, anytime you're hanging out in a room with your friends, immediately, everybody's just chilling. Maybe one of your buddies starts to doze off. Bam! I like scaring people anyway. You know what I mean? Like just jump scaring people.
Dude, I want to come up with some sort of prank. Like, hold on. I gotta change the camera.
I'm scared. Is that his last question? No. Oh, there's another one?
No, oh yeah. My bad. I thought you meant was me talking about pranks. His last question. Yes, that was his final question. Was the one about I don't even remember what it was now. But no, pranks. I'm thinking like something lighthearted that's not going to hurt anybody, but that will become notorious. So, for example, I was watching this video. I watch a lot of videos.
Wait, have you seen the guy that is like, you need $1? He's like the kind of like taller, light-skinned black man, pretty attractive with, I'm gay, has dreads on top of his head. And he's like, he talks really country. Yeah. And he walks up to people in the store. He's like, man, you need $1.
I have not.
You look down on your luck there,
I've seen
partner.
the old...
Have you seen? He's hilarious.
I've seen the white dude that dresses in like overalls and in like a cowboy style hat that goes around calling black people boy. He's like, will you hand that to me, boy? And they like, I'd be scared to be that dude. That's not a cool prank. I don't like that.
That's not.
I don't like that.
The black dude that I was talking about, it works.
I'm sweating.
It works. It's kind of funny.
But no, I was watching a video of like this dude he got a TV, an old school like the thick boy TVs, and he basically took all of the components out of it and made it into a helmet, like a mask type helmet, where he would just look like he had a TV for a head, and he wore a jumpsuit. And in the middle of the night, he would bring old school box TVs and set them on people's porches and then just kind of wave at the door and walk away. And a couple people caught him on like Ring doorbells. Yeah. Like that type of prank would be like something that is completely harmless, but would be like and a mystery for people to be like, who is that? Like,
why is he doing this?
Yes, like I'm trying to think of how you would scheme up something like that, or like there's I think it's in St. Louis. There's somewhere, it might be Orlando. I don't know. I'm gonna get the city wrong. There's a city where on a freeway there's always a jar of pickles on the Jersey barrier in the middle of the freeway. And nobody ever knows how they get there. Nobody's ever seen anybody put the pickles there.
It has to be at night.
But every now and then the pickles will disappear. And I believe there's like a social media page about the pickles. And then the pickles will come back. And then everybody's like, yeah, the pickles are back. Like something just completely mundane like that, but makes an entire city just be like, who is doing that?
Huh.
I don't know. That's a hard one to scheme up. Those people are far more creative than I.
Holy shit.
But
yeah, that's a talent.
That type of prank would be really, really fun to pull off.
What would you? I mean, obviously, you'd probably want to do it in Union, right?
No, I mean Spartanburg and Columbia would probably be a little better. You're going to get more notoriety for it.
Right.
Maybe even Greenville. But I definitely would want to avoid approaching people's houses at night.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The pickles on the freeway is a funny one.
That's a really funny one.
You know who's a genius? And I'm sure this has been fucking played into the dirt. Everybody's mentioned this. Whoever came up with those Biden stickers that said, I did that. You know, everybody puts them on the gas pumps. And it's a little Biden sticker pointing, and it's like, I did that, talking about the gas. That dude's a genius. Whoever fucking come up with that is a genius. Because those are all, excuse me, those are all across the country.
Yeah.
Somehow they just like, that spread like fucking wildfire.
Well, see, all you have to do is get one person to do it and make it popular.
Right.
And the next thing you know, like, you have everybody else wanting to do it. And that's how they get across. Like, one person doesn't have to do it.
Like, I think the pickle one is a good jumping off point. It's a good premise. Like putting an odd object in a space that makes people question, why is that there? But it's so hard to come up with examples for what you could do.
We should get a goat and walk it around in public spaces.
Dressed as the devil.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And our farts will sound like gunshots. And we will scare everybody.
That might not be a bad plan.
So, hold on. Back to gunshot farts.
We could dress the goat like Donald Trump.
Some farts are longer. Some farts might be fucking 10 seconds long. Is that one loud single gunshot, or is that like a machine gun going off?
That's a good question.
Is that like a brrr, or is it just like bah? Just one long, loud gunshot, or is it multiple gunshots?
Yeah, we need some clarity.
We do need clarity. God damn it, Quinn. I was about to call his ass. He hasn't
We got some youngsters fishing behind us. Little do they know they're fishing in water that's about 3 inches deep.
All right, we'll see if Quinn answers. Because what was the... Oh, God. I'm blanking on like all the questions now.
So the first one was...
That's the survival.
Best sport for survival.
Then how many bullets can you take without medical attention? In what places? Then fart, gunshots, or pee moaning. Oh, well, Quinn, I wanted your answers. We will have to report back next week on what Quinn thinks is correct.
Dude, my card keeps getting hacked by the same motherfucker.
Really?
I keep getting like I've gotten like it's on my thing. It's like always a $5.29 charge to Microsoft. And then as soon as they figure out they got into your thing, they'll spam it. They'll spam the charge. And it's like...
That's weird.
What the... Yeah, and I've gotten multiple cards, and it's always the same. It appears the same. This is like the third time it's happened.
It's like $5 to Microsoft?
$5.29.
$5.29 to Microsoft.
Every time.
Is that a... What could that be? What could be being purchased?
Dude.
Because my first thought is like gift cards.
Right.
Because then you're taking your money, and now I have this thing that's untraceable that is now mine that can't be taken away from me.
Some gamer, programmer, hacker that just figured out how to get infinite money on their fucking Microsoft gaming account, or something like that. Who knows? It could be anything.
Because if it was like $20, I'd be like, yeah, he's probably getting gift cards.
And then every couple of months, Microsoft or Wells Fargo is like, yeah, we've had a data leak that probably compromised everyone's information.
Bro, the chips.
That literally happens all the time.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, what the fuck, dude?
The chips on both of my cards are going out. Where I got to reinsert them like 7 times before they finally read my chip.
Damn.
I need to get both my cards replaced.
You probably should stop crushing stuff with it. I'm just kidding.
I've never done cocaine.
But
I've never done any real uppers.
I'm
always up. I need downers.
I need some uppers sometimes.
I'm always up. My only uppers are fucking caffeine.
Dude, yeah, dude, I love caffeine.
Oh, I love caffeine.
I mean, for God's sakes. That might be one of the hardest. If things went to shit, that'd be one of the hardest ones to live without. Because, like, we're not getting coffee.
No. I mean, I wonder if coffee would grow well around here.
You'd have to grow it in the mountains.
I don't know.
Yeah, you'd have to grow it in the mountains. It's like one of those really, wet, high environment type plants.
Yeah, but we live in a rainforest.
It's just, I don't think how hot it is, I don't think it suits coffee. I think
they grow it in like Colombia.
Dude, Colombia's at like 7,000 feet, homie.
I'm sure
most of Colombia is above 3,000 feet.
I'm sure it's still hot though.
No.
All right, I'm wrong.
It's very mild. It's actually, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, dude, once you get to 3,000, 4,000 feet.
I'm aware.
Yeah, they're not like in a desert. They're in like a lush.
Because there was that time I went up to Mount Mitchell, and at the base of the mountain, it's like 85, 90 outside. At the top of the mountain, it was 55 degrees. There were people in like down coats at the top of the mountain.
Dude, Colombia is one of the most like high elevation mountainous countries in South America. Like most of the country is at high elevation. Yeah.
I guess I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Because I think more when
like their capital Bogota is at like 7,000 feet.
When I think mountainous South American countries, I think like Peru and Chile.
They're also.
Yeah, I mean.
And Argentina, yeah.
Right.
I mean, there's mountains.
Or like Africa. There's a lot of African coffee.
Yeah, high elevation places like Ethiopia. There's like 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 feet. Where else?
So potentially, if we got up into the Appalachians, which is where you would want to go if you're surviving.
Yeah, you could probably grow some coffee up there.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. You probably had to go to the mountains.
If you're surviving, mountains or ocean?
The safer bet would be the ocean,
and as we've discussed before,
I'm more suited to the mountains personally. I agree. Just because it's more my wheelhouse.
But as we've discussed before, you're going to want that salt.
Yeah, but the thing is, you have mineral deposits in the mountains. You just have to know where they are.
I know, but you know where the ocean is.
The water in the streams actually has mineral content anyway. Like the streams, they have natural levels of magnesium, calcium.
I guess what's more valuable to you, caffeine or salt?
Salt.
I think I'd have to go ocean.
I mean, think about it. How do the animals? The animals don't need salt.
Animals lick rocks.
Exactly.
I'm not licking a rock. I wouldn't know which rock to lick.
They only do that in extreme conditions.
But they do get their salt.
Exactly. That's my point.
Like, there's a reason you will bait certain animals with like a salt lick.
Right.
But again, if we're just talking me with my current knowledge, the ocean's a way safer bet.
Way safer.
Also, I would imagine less predators. You're not running into many bear on the coast.
That's where they live. I mean, South Carolina, they only live in the low country and they only live in the mountains. Like, think of Florida. Florida has a pretty decent black bear population.
I'm just thinking the likelihood of running into a bear.
They don't give a fuck. Bears just want green. That's all. They don't give a
But also, if we're talking...
If they have oak trees,
yeah,
they're good.
But if we're talking shit hits the fan and society collapses, the bears are going to be running amok everywhere.
The only reason I would lean towards the mountains is because it's easier. Like, if you ever tried to move around in the low country, it fucking sucks.
What do you mean?
Everything's wet. Everything is like muddy. There's bugs fucking everywhere. They're way worse.
Right, but on the flip side, you're climbing mountains.
It's so much hotter.
At least it's flat.
I'd prefer to live in the mountains.
I would prefer to live in the mountains if I had a house and utilities. But I'm saying society collapse. Your safest bets, in my opinion, would be the ocean. I think I'm going to...
People have been seeking the mountains for... the Bible says some shit about when, if doomsday comes, run to the mountains.
So...
It's literally in the Bible.
I'm just...
It's talking about a very specific mountain. I think it's talking about a mountain, but I think it's talking about like one mountain in Jerusalem.
Sinai?
Oh,
Mount Sinai.
God, I just sat on my coccyx weird. Oh, Jesus. Felt like a nail went up my butt. If you ever do that, do you ever just like rock on your fucking?
Oh, I got a bony ass. Yeah, I'm rocking on it right now.
Anyway.
But I'm just thinking, like, I think I'm gonna be able to catch more fish than I would hunt animals. Hunt land animals, I believe, is going to be more difficult than catching fish.
It'd be way, way harder to catch animals than fish.
Access to more timber. You got the mountains for that one. That's a win. But there's still plenty of timber in the low country.
Ooh, you're going to have a lot of rocks in the high country, too. Those are great for stuff.
There's a lot of rocks in the low country.
No, there's not. It's all fucking sand and clay.
It depends where you are in the low country.
I'm thinking
like Myrtle Beach is like, yeah, sand and clay. You go down towards Charleston, you get a little bit more southern. It's a little bit more rocky.
Is it?
A little bit.
No, it's not.
I'm not saying significantly.
You have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm not saying significantly.
You actually are trained in geology, aren't you?
But when I'm thinking,
I can tell.
But when I'm thinking ocean, I think sandy Myrtle Beach.
Right.
And that's not most oceans.
Basically, it's pretty much the same from like the top of the middle of North Carolina, top of North Carolina, all the way down to like the top of Florida. It's very similar deposit.
Right.
It's just runoff from the Appalachians. That's literally all it is. It's all the same. It's just highly, highly eroded sediment, clays, sands, silts. Yeah. That's why everything is so shifty down there. You don't have many rocks. There's not many rocks.
Are gonna have.
It's not like Maine.
You'll probably have better luck with fruits and vegetables in the mountains, as opposed to the coast. Look at that skink.
You can always plant.
That's what, but I'm saying I think you'd have better luck with
fruits in the mountains for sure,
or just more fertile land. I would imagine. But then again, most of the farmlands in the low country.
It depends on what kind of fruit you're talking about. Like if you want oranges, you'd be better in the coast. If you want, apples or blackberries, you'd be better off in the mountains. Like
so,
what fruit do you want?
Let's say tomorrow you have one day to prepare to go find a spot and settle down there because the apocalypse is coming.
I'm going to the mountains.
You have your truck. What are you bringing?
Literally, my tailgate is full of so much useful shit.
Just tools?
I got like 3 axes. I got hammers. I got tarps. I got a jack. I got, a spare tire. I got, screwdrivers, stuff like that. I mean, but honestly, I would grab, I don't know, probably just my kids, and I have a 25-pound thing of rice.
Oh, that'd be very useful.
I have a very big thing of rice.
All right, so access to potable water, mountains are going to get you there. Definitely better in the mountains.
Easier.
Way easier in the mountains. But then I'm thinking if you're using salt water to get salt, the same process is going to give you fresh water. If you collect it correctly.
Yeah, you'd have to have something to collect the water, but yeah. And also, to get salt from the ocean, you kind of have to bake it.
Well,
it's kind of like you have to boil it off, and then you have to spread it real thin, and then basically cook it again to get it super dry.
Well, if you just have like a big tray, just set it in the sun.
That'll work eventually.
You're going to get your salt.
It's going to be a wet salt, but yeah, it'll work.
Well, no, I'm saying like you have the rest of your life to do this. So you just start by filling up a bunch of trays with some salt water, leaving them out there, and then every now and then you just come back, refill, and it's just a cycle.
Right, you just keep salt, yeah. That's a good point.
I don't know, man. I still think strictly just from fish, I still think the ocean would be easier.
But in terms of the skills that you need, like it's hard to navigate that space if you don't know a lot about it. So those tidal zones
versus the mountains,
I'd be way more comfortable in the mountains. I've spent way more time there.
I don't know. I'm leaning towards the coastline being a little easier, but we're off the rails. We've probably coming up on an hour and a half.
Yeah, we need a break.
I guess
I need a...
What?
I was going to say I need a break from life, but whatever.
Oh, yes. Don't we all? Bro, I have to remind myself. I'm like, you have nothing to stress about.
Right.
Like all this like stress and anxiety. It's like the only thing in your life right now that you need to stress about is finding a better job. That's the only thing. You have literally nothing else to stress about. Why are we so anxious all the time? Like I have to like sit myself down and be like, listen, you have nothing to stress about. Find a job and that's it. That's the only thing stressing you out right now.
How much have you tried breath work?
Never.
Dude, I try to get Hannah to like, hey, let me just teach you a basic exercise. And she was like, nah.
I got into meditation back in the day.
Yeah, it's similar. It's similar breath work.
And I've found it very valuable. It's just the discipline to sit down and do it.
It's just like when you're getting that feeling. Be like, hey, I'm going to take control of my breath. I'm just going to think about that for a certain amount of time. That's my point. Like whenever you're getting into that space of like, I'm anxious or...
Well, it's usually not even something you really notice. A lot of times. I feel like a lot of times the anxiety is just in the background and you don't even realize maybe how anxious you actually are a lot of the times. Like, for me personally, anxiety doesn't always present itself as I can be like, oh, I'm feeling anxious right now. It's not necessarily that.
It creeps up
black
on
and
you.
white.
It creeps up. It creeps up on me. Like it'll be like, okay, there's something a little festering in my mind.
Yeah.
And then like I'll be like, all right, don't worry about it. And then there's something else like, oh my God, it's something festering right there.
Yeah. That's true.
And then like another one, they'll just come in like fester. Ah!
Yeah.
And then they'll all be like all at one time, like, ah! You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And then you have a panic attack.
Right. Or you just
deal with it.
Yeah. Just swallow it until you have a heart attack. Which is how most men choose to handle the situation.
Yeah. Just bottle it up. Don't talk about it.
Yeah, you'll die when you're 50. Don't worry about it.
It's okay.
Oh,
See, but if I had 4 wives...
Now we're talking. Yeah.
Then you just vent to each wife about the other wives.
Right. Well, I think the situation there is that the ladies can vent to themselves, like amongst themselves, right? Instead of to you. They just all get together and bitch about you instead of your wife getting together with you and bitching about you. You know what I mean?
We shouldn't say that women are bitches. That's not what we're meaning.
I was just kidding.
It's a colloquialism.
I'm talking about in our hypothetical make-believe world in which we have 4 wives.
The very first thing you brought up made me think of something that I have asked that I don't think we've talked about on the podcast. There are Christian people named Christian, and there is Islamic people named Islam. Are there any Jewish people named Jew? Are there any Buddhist people named Buddha? I mean, the original one was Buddha. What?
Nothing.
Like, it's funny, though, that you're named after the religion.
Buddha. There's plenty of Buddhas out there.
Are there, though? Because the original dude was Buddha. The Buddhism's kind of different because it was, Christianity isn't called Jesusism.
Well, I mean, his name was Christ.
What? No, it wasn't.
His name wasn't called Jesus.
His name wasn't Christ.
That's what people referred to him as, I think.
I don't think back then.
The Christ.
I think that's what we call him now.
That might be what they came to call him. But
right,
in the Bible, he was the Christ. That's kind of what his main...
I wonder what Jesus' real name was.
Christos in Greek.
But yeah, like...
I don't think that they were calling him Jesus.
Were there any... Again, are there any Jews named Jew?
And I think Christ only means I think it means literally like the anointed one.
That's what I mean. That's not his name. That's just what we refer to him as.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. His last name isn't Christ.
Right. Not his last name.
Yeah. It's not like Jesus Christ Johnson.
Right.
Jesus Johnson. Would be
Billy Bob Jesus.
How funny would it be if we could go back in time and we realized like Jesus' name was like Keith?
It was probably some like Aramaic name, like Hatham or something like that. I'm just kidding. I don't know anything about Aramaic, but But yeah, apparently that's what language. I was looking it up the other day. He probably spoke 3 languages. He probably spoke his, like the in that area.
Yeah.
The people spoke Aramaic to each other.
Right.
And then they were kind of forced to speak Greek to trade.
Right.
That was like the what do they call it? Lingua franca of the time. It just means like the language people use to commerce, right? And then Hebrew, because he was learning, like that's what the like high status Jews spoke,
right?
Like the Hebrew wasn't like a common language. It was like only the educated, like, you know what I mean? People kind of knew it.
What's the difference in Hebrew and Yiddish?
Probably just time.
Because when we were talking about
Yiddish was
schwitzing,
right?
I looked it up. Schwitzing is technically, because I named that one episode Beyond Schwitzing.
It's probably a more modern version of Hindu.
But when I looked it up,
not Hindu,
Hebrew.
Hebrew.
But when I looked it up, it said that schwitzing is a Yiddish word, and us bigoted assholes said it's a Jewish word because we're fucking stupid.
Is there a caterpillar?
No, you're safe.
But no, I think it's probably an interesting way that language works, like where gradually they evolve over time and intermingle. Like, you know, you have like English, you have all the Latin languages coming into Greek, and you know what I mean? It's like an intermingling. Words sort of start to dominate over time, and the language changes, and that's probably what it was. Like Yiddish is just like a later, more modern adaptation that was used in Europe.
Why don't I just
Because I'm pretty
Google
sure
it?
It was from Europe, like during the like more modern times, like post-Renaissance, if you will.
Hebrew versus Yiddish. This is coming to you from AI Overview, so we can definitely trust everything it's saying.
So is this Gemini? Is this technically Gemini?
I don't know.
Or is Gemini what you have to pay for?
No, it's just the fucking Google AI Overview. Hebrew and Yiddish, oh God. Hebrew and Yiddish are both languages spoken by Jewish people around the world, but they have several key differences. Hebrew is a Semitic language that originated in the Middle East over 3,000 years ago. Yiddish is a German dialect that developed in the Rhineland in the 9th century CE.
So pre-Renaissance.
So
is it still spoken today?
Yiddish is newer.
Right.
And it is more closely related to Slavic languages than Hebrew.
Right. See, that's what I was pointing to, like the intermingling nature.
Right here. Yiddish incorporates many languages, including Hebrew, Aramaic, German, and various Slavic and Romance languages. Yiddish has some Hebrew words, notably mishnaic, M-I-S-H-N-A-I-C. Oh, there might be a in there. Mishnaic. Sorry if that's offensive.
Oh my God.
But Hebrew speakers likely won't be able to understand Yiddish. Yiddish is traditionally written using the Hebrew alphabet, but some variations use the Latin
would Yiddish
alphabet.
Speakers be able to understand Hebrew. They'd be able to understand some of the words, but not all of them.
Hebrew is the official language of Israel and is used in Jewish prayer because it is the language of the Bible. Yiddish is traditionally written using the Hebrew alphabet, but some variations use Latin alphabet. Hebrew has 22 consonant letters, and vowels are deduced from context and marks above and below the letters. So they don't have vowels. They have marks accompanying their consonants to make them vowels.
Yeah, I think a lot of like Slavic, Middle Eastern, Russian languages are like that.
Ah.
Yeah. They're like weird that way.
We're just rambling. I think we should probably wrap this up.
Yeah, I'm glad we figured that out.
Hopefully you stuck with us through that one. Ooh, I know what we would do for our prank.
What?
We get paddles, like little wooden oars.
And leave them places.
And leave them on billboards.
Okay.
So everybody can see them, and they're like, how the fuck did they get the paddle up there?
Okay. Is it illegal? You're trespassing.
100%. Definitely illegal. Unless we can throw it on there. But then likely it'll just lay on the platform and not be visible.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able
It's got to be like leaned against the thing.
You just tape it onto it.
I don't know.
Just tape a fucking
paddle. Is there a better place than billboards? I mean, if I want this to be...
Lean it up against like an exit number, like maybe 66.
Or
like, oh, I know the perfect place.
Where?
Oh my God, dude. Okay, so
this is all going to be traced back to us. This is not going to be anonymous.
No. Shh. You're coming south. On I-385.
Yeah.
You're 6 miles from Clinton, 66 miles from Columbia. And it's right there together, like 6,
66.
6. And you just put a paddle right underneath it. A beautiful handmade paddle sacrificed to the exit.
Would that bring enough attention, though?
Now, you'd have to do more than one.
Because the pickles are funny because it's like it's a jar of pickles in the middle of a freeway.
That's what I'm saying. The paddle is just like a random thing too.
Oh, another funny, kind of harmless, maybe not that harmless, kind of harmless prank.
Paddles are going to get expensive.
Was somebody they took a old like Honda Civic and stripped all the heavy components out of it, so to just make it as light as possible, and then just dangled it from a bridge. Nobody has any clue who did it. Like, and apparent, like, they speculate how they did it. Did they dangle it down from the top or hoist it up from below the bridge? Most likely hoisted it from below the bridge. But the car is just like dangling there under a bridge, and nobody.
So do you think they submerged it and then pulled it out of the water?
No, there was like a little land under the bridge. It wasn't all just water. But yeah, I want to come up with a prank.
Okay, I'll think on it. I like the paddles on the exit though. That'd be good.
Yeah, dude, the TV
they'd get got real quick around here. People would snatch them up.
I'm gonna show you the camera just cut, so we'll wrap it up here. Actually, let me cut it back on just so we get the final couple seconds on video. But I got to show you the video of the TV head dude who left TVs out everywhere.
Okay, please. And that's another episode of Upacreek with Two Paddles. Send us your mail at upacreek@thepaddlepod.com.
Yes, the email is always in the description.
Give us your money. I'm
sure.
just kidding.
We should put like our cash apps.
That's the worst.
It's so
dude.
pitiful.
People put it in their Instagram stories.
It's so stupid. Or even like you'll see people like, I just turned 21. I'm going to the beach. Here's my cash app, like written on their car window.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah. I've just been married.
No, what?
Give me money.
The funny thing,
I spent all my money on the wedding.
Every time you see one of those, you should just go to their Cash App and send them a request for like $1,000. Instead of sending them money, you just spam them.
They accidentally press yes.
All right, we are advocating that at the Upacreek with Two Paddles podcast. If you ever see a vehicle with a car that is asking for money and they have their Cash App, just request them.
Send them a request.
$1,000. Spam it.
Maybe not 1,000. That's a little stingy.
$10,000.
I was thinking like $5, bro.
No,
I just need to get some gas.
Just all of the above. Let's just like, how funny would that be if every car that they passed on the way to the beach sent them a request, and they get to the beach and check their Cash App.
Can I just write on the back of my car? I'm broke. Cash App. I need gas. 2 children hungry.
Bro, that should be the new homeless thing.
Yeah.
Just put your Cash App on your cardboard sign.
Somebody's just driving a nice Lexus. Spent all my money on my Lexus.
Here's my Cash App. Send me money.
Oh my God. All right, we're good.
All righty. Right into the show. Upacreek.
See you guys next time.
We only have emails from Quinn.
Oh well.
All right. Take it easy. See you next time.